Hello, everyone, and welcome to the authentication process. You are on tap with Jeffrey and Shanda. So today we're going to talk about, really what does it mean to have purpose? And we want to just try to clarify a little bit of what that means. First off, I want to say it's not the social media branding of purpose. It's not, Instagram version, Facebook version, whatever you might want to see out there that is quite fake and not quite real. So it's not about achievement either. It's not about your successes and failures and your job, your status, your profession. So I wanted to just set that right here, right at the front, just so that you know that part.
So redefining purpose is kind of what we're doing, and because we want to shift from what the world's view of it is. Purpose is simple, not complicated, and oftentimes the world can make it very complicated. But at the core definition, it's the reason that something is created, exists, or is done. And it's knowing what matters and living in alignment with what you feel, what you're not just passionate about, but what calls to you. It's a feeling of presence that has meaning. And purpose is not about what you do, but why you do it. And it's accessible in every role that we play, whether that be
Yeah.
as a spouse, a parent, and our job as well. But all of these are aspects that we believe the world doesn't really hit on when we talk about finding one's purpose.
And, when we talk about that, what purpose looks like, I'll say the worst thing to do is try to mimic somebody else, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's really that's never going to be the way to your true authentic purpose. First of all, it's often subtle. It's not dramatic. It's not this wham thing that just usually hits you out of nowhere, but it's usually a subtle thing. It shows up with consistency and intention. And you don't find it by accident. There's a book we read a while back called Success is Not an Accident, right? So you don't it's not really something you just kind of accidentally fall into, So some example of lived purpose, I'll just say is like, it's really just about showing up really every day in your life and showing up with intention. You have to set boundaries so that you have a level of peace that you want for yourself and for your family and
100%.
whatever it might be. So that's really a great part of what that looks like for you.
And purpose also has a feeling. And this is something that I personally feel very strongly about because I believe that the world's view of what purpose feels like is it's always joyful. And once you find one, like at 25 or something, like our younger daughter, she came to us at 3 years old and said, I'm going to be an actress. I really feel like God is telling me this. And I'm like, of course she had feelings about it and whatever, but like that purpose at 3, she is doing it now,
Yeah.
but can also change. But what it feels like, it's an emotional and energetic response. It's an experience. And it's a very steady inner pull towards something.
Mhm.
Like for me growing up, I always wanted to run a Fortune 500 company and make buku bucks and leave Indiana.
Yeah.
Well, things changed. And now at a stage in my life, my sole purpose was being a mom, and purpose feels that inner pull. Like at that moment in time when I had my children, that was my sole purpose. And it felt joyful. It also felt overwhelming. There's clarity that comes with it. There's so many feelings that come along with purpose as far as just like there is a calmness to it, but there's also a chaos. There's like I said, that strong pull and
Yeah.
that inner pull. But when you're out of purpose, there's a heaviness. And unlike the chaos that I was talking about, when you're walking in your purpose and you're walking in alignment with what you feel this season has called you to do, you will have the chaos, but you will have the calm with the chaos. So that is just some of the feelings that I truly believe, that we truly believe purpose brings.
And as we're going on along this lines, purpose it's also uncovered, and it's not just found, but I like to say it's uncovered because it's a little bit different than what that looks like. And it evolves rather through life in various stages. You might have ambition, and then it might look like peace that just overwhelms you, and that's really what you're looking for. And then don't be afraid. That's the biggest part. You can't be afraid to evolve with it. It might be a time of where you're just looking for profound healing for yourself. You've gone through a lot, you've dealt with trauma, whatever it might be for yourself, a breakup. It doesn't matter what it is, but you're looking for that. And then sometimes, again, it might be that survival. It might be that restoration period that you are in. And then that kind of flips the script on you a little bit. But the main thing is you're not going to get this one size fits all kind of an experience where it's going to look like somebody else's experience as far as that's concerned. One of the core truths about it is purpose is also how you move through life.
Very true.
About how you move and how you flow through it and allow it to really, as you push through it, don't let certain aspects of your past dictate what it's supposed to look like as well. And so there's a few different indicators that I like to say when it comes to what that looks like. Number one, what breaks your heart? It's difficult sometimes when we do this, but what breaks your heart? And then you have to flip that around and say, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel invigorated? What gives you that sense of just that fire in there, right? And then what can you no longer ignore? There are certain things in our lives and
Yeah.
relationships and things along those lines that we deal with for a long period of time. And sometimes you just get to that place where, all right, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. And
Enough
that
is
is done.
enough. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. But the biggest thing is emotional tension can give you direction is exactly what he is saying. And there is an uncomfortable truth that a lot of people are not speaking about when it comes to purpose. And most people they don't lack purpose. They resist it. Because there does come with the purpose a sense of, like I said, that chaos. And then, or what we're told to do isn't our purpose, but we are told to be a certain
Yeah.
way as we grow, and that's what the world, parents, family,
Yep.
sometimes with no malicious intent, but we are pulled away from what we're called to do and what our purpose authentically is.
Yeah.
And that is a very uncomfortable truth. And why resistance happens is purpose requires change. And change is so hard for not I'm not pointing to you because it's hard for you.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Change is hard. And because you have to set up boundaries and maybe you lose people along the way.
Yep.
You have disappointment from others, disappointment in yourself, disappointment in the whole journey. You have to have identity shifts and there's so many changes, especially leaving your comfort zone. I know when we left Indiana, everyone thought we were insane.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
thought we were crazy, but like there was a pull. It wasn't just about our daughter's career. There was a pull for us as well.
Yeah.
But that obviously can be scary and there's resistance there. So many people don't walk in purpose because of the need and of the requirement to change. And at the core, purpose is not always comfortable. We want you to understand that is
Yeah.
honestly, that is a truth. That is not a pretty truth because it requires change and alignment. And this is an ongoing process throughout life.
You're right, and it rarely is it going to be comfortable, or
Yeah.
because you're going in places that are unfamiliar, right? So
Yes.
if it looks familiar and it feels safe, there's a good chance that it's probably is leading to the growth that you want.
Yeah.
So, with that said, I want to say it's also about the return to self, and that's another identity place to look at when you think about what purpose looks like for you. A return home to yourself, and this is something you can't rush, right? Authentic identity before survival patterns is another part of that. And again, it takes a lot of deep introspection
Yeah.
for to be still with yourself, which is another whole topic in and of itself that people don't like to have that
True.
alone time. Self before fear and conditioning. We're always being conditioned by anything and everything around us, socially, economically, jobs or religions, whatever it might be. So purpose, it really has to do with equaling the original self again, trying to get back to who you are at your core. And that's really what we're looking to do is reconnect with what is real beneath and underneath all of that conditioning.
It's like unlearning and becoming what you were told and then becoming what you always have been.
Yeah.
That maybe has been
Yeah,
lying dormant.
absolutely.
Purpose is not only an achievement or building. Sometimes purpose looks like rest, as he was speaking a moment ago
Yeah.
about healing. There are seasons in life where like your purpose is to be still. Your purpose is to heal from past trauma, to heal from that lost relationship, whatever it may be. Your nervous system needs to heal. Your spirit. It's about learning authentic peace, which we talked about. I know I've talked about on
Yeah.
my platform. Authentic peace, meaning like you learn to dance in the rain, as is a simple way I put it. Sometimes purpose is breaking generational curses or cycles from past trauma and family generational curses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I can speak and attest to this one specifically because you have to be if you are called and you know because there's that pull and you want your kids to be raised differently, you have to go through this process of breaking and healing and
Yeah.
forgiving those that hurt you, forgiving those for yourself or what as you might have thought allowed it to be done. But you're breaking cycles and emotional safety. You're breaking these cycles and tearing things down to build up that emotional safety in order to find yourself and what your authentic purpose is. The validations can sometimes be unclear in certain seasons. And that's something that I don't really think that as I go through life, I had to learn the hard way. You want validation that you're in alignment. You want validation. It's almost like you want someone to say, hey, you're doing good or whatever. And sometimes that doesn't come.
Yeah.
But that's why that alignment and that feeling of that pull that we spoke about is so important, and that you're not off track when you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, especially if there's a thought that comes to you that like you normally would not think about that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the universe and God telling you, hey, this is in the right direction. And so these are just some of the things that sometimes this is what purpose can look like.
You really hit the nail on the head with that, really, honestly, you did. You know, and as we kind of maybe bring us to an end here, one thing is that it's purpose is it's not always loud. It's not going to be a bold in
Yeah.
your face thing. It'd be great if there was an airplane with a banner beside it going up in the air that told you exactly what to look for, the cues or whatever it might be, right? So it's just, unfortunately, it's just not going to be that way. And then sometimes it's just, again, that quiet pull that keeps coming back, and we have to quiet the noise around us and slow down enough so that we will hear it and listen to it, and but it will bring a peace with you along with it that will, it's almost like it gives that period at the end to let you know you're on the right path for what that looks like for you. You don't have to have it all figured out. Don't
No,
be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay, right? You know, if you don't explore those unexplored aspects of who you are, then you will stay exactly where you're at. You'll stay stagnant and you'll keep repeating the same thing and regurgitating and not really being very happy sometimes. So you just need to, again, give yourself space, stay close to yourself, close enough to notice what you feel and what's real, what's not, what works and what doesn't, and don't be afraid of that, you know. And then it's okay to look to other people, and hopefully surround yourselves with
that's key.
some good people
That's
to
key.
hopefully help you go in that right direction and not try to steer you back to what's comfortable and familiar. So
It's about noticing what life is currently asking of you. Is it asking you to move out of your area? Is it maybe asking you to end or start a relationship, a romantic relationship, maybe end an old friendship? All of these things are God's way of guiding us organically. We just have to have the ears to listen.
that part.
And again, we just want to encourage you guys to honestly to find out what your purpose is for your life and know that it is going to be messy. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry even about the next. Just take the time, be still, sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts, and see.
There you have it. Not much more you can add to that. We want to say thank you again for joining us on this episode of On Top with Jeffrey and Shanda. Be sure to check out the past episodes. You'll find some great things there. Check out Shanda's blog. She writes on there consistently as well. And we just appreciate having you come along with us on this journey. And we'll see you in the next episode. Have a blessed day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.